£1 million show review episode of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by EdgeBoost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN and get a $25 deposit bonus. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Sunday, June the 1st. We are here to review two things. First, we'll have a look back at the Champions League final from Saturday night. It was a bit of a funny one, but parts were quite enjoyable. And then we will review our £1 million show. Well, my two favourite shows of the year are doing the £1 million show and then reviewing the £1 million show when me and Baz launch a mythical £1 million around things that we like. And as we always say, it is the true test of the handicapper to see who is once and for all the best handicapper on the show. It's impossible to tell. It's too early to tell so far. We won't know until the very end what's happened. So looking forward to finding out who is undisputably the best of the two of us. Joining me from, is he still in Nottingham? He might be in Liverpool. No, it's that nosy couch behind you. Mr. Barry Penaluna. Baz, how are we doing?
I am still in Nottingham. I am going to Liverpool tomorrow, unfortunately, for several days.
So you're in Nottingham. Anything happening this weekend that was short and sweet?
No, very, very quiet one this weekend. For a change, to be honest, no football. Saturday was weird up until the evening when there was football, but just found myself sitting around thinking, what am I meant to do here? Like, no football at all, no kids football, no refereeing, nothing on the telly. I ended up watching a bit of rugby league. That's how desperate things got. So yeah, very, very quiet weekend, but quite a welcome one, to be fair. I've quite enjoyed doing fuck all.
It is weird because you look forward to the no football a little bit, and then it's instantly unbearable. And then I'm trying to avoid. I'll put the rugby league on for 5 minutes. I'll put the golf on for 5 minutes. Then I'll put the racing on for 5 minutes. I'm just trying to avoid stuff. I went to a plant sale in a church hall in Ponteland, Barry, which turned out to be like 3 old women in a trestle table, and the sign belied the size of the event. So I was very disappointed having driven all the way up there. So yeah, you're right. Trying to find things to do until I went out to watch the Champions League final. The chat is live and kicking from the bottom up. Callum is here. Bootle is here as well. Bootle's been causing nothing but mayhem the last couple of times he's been in the chat, so we'll see if Bootle behaves himself. Harry claims he's won £1 million tonight. Oh, that's true, Harry, because congratulations if it is. Both teams red card in Spezia v Cremonese. So well done, Harry, there. Luke's joined us. Luke is 10 Jaeger bombs deep, which is a good effort. So if Luke sees the end of the show, that'll be more impressive.
Yeah, Luke is an old timer. He used to pop in, if you remember. Can you not remember Up the Oldham? He used to just pop in and say Up the Oldham and then clear it off. Well, obviously, Oldham won the National League playoff final today, didn't they, against Southend? So that's why Luke's turned up.
Oldham are in my notes. That word there. It says Oldham, because I did want to get to that. Luke, we'll do that now, actually. I'll just mention Bob. Bob D was at the top of the show. Bob wanted to join us the other night, Baz, but you were so late he had to go. So Bob's managed it. Yeah, I went to see Oldham, didn't I, in February, March with my very old mate, who I hadn't seen for a full-on 27 years or something silly. And went to watch Gateshead v Oldham, and it was dog shit. But I did message him this morning. I knew he was going to Wembley. I sent him a little good luck message. And I looked when I last checked live score, they were 2-1 down in extra time and thought they'd fucked it. And then they hadn't. They came back and scored 108, 110. So well done, Oldham. And our American and Canadian listeners are probably not even aware that Oldham Athletic were very much a Premier League team, like, and an established one, not just a sort of up and down yo-yo. When Newcastle first got back in the Prem under Keegan in our heyday, Oldham Athletic were a big game. They had cup semi-finals. Mark Hughes chinned them for Man United in a 3-3 draw, I think, in an FA Cup semi-final. So yeah, Oldham were very much one of the established Premier League teams back then. So yeah, back in League Two. Congratulations, Oldham. Champions League wise, Baz, the game itself, we'll talk about the game before the picks. I mean, obviously it was very one-sided, and people have taken sort of different views of that, whether or not it was a bit shit because it was one-sided, or whether or not I quite enjoyed watching PSG because they were just really, really good. I think if Milan had got the third goal, we might have got a better game. But the enjoyment was in just watching it. One team absolutely dismantle another team, and they did. I mean, we're going to get on the picks in a minute. And I enjoyed PSG. It was a different style of play as well. It wasn't the Man City tiki-taka. It wasn't the Barcelona tiki-taka. It was get the ball to your good players and just fucking attack them, like. And they shredded them. They cut them to ribbons. And once Milan were behind, they had no way of dealing with that. They couldn't claw their way back into the game. PSG aren't the type of team you can claw your way back into a game against, because every time you try and build something, the minute there's any kind of transition, they've gone. So I enjoyed watching them, and they're a good team to watch it 2 and 3-0 because they didn't just sit back; they carried on, and really they could have scored a gazillion by the end. So it was a decent game. I enjoyed watching it, but
yeah, I'm the same. I've seen a lot of stuff online saying what a letdown it was. I assume it was probably people who backed Inter, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Like you, it was entertaining just to watch how good PSG were on the day. So yeah, good game, and from me, a good night in terms of the betting picks. One thing that did make me laugh was everybody else claiming it as some sort of victory on socials.
Everyone won the cup. Right? Anyone who has been to Paris, got Paris correct in a crossword.
No, it wasn't so much that. It was people like Arsenal fans trying to spin it.
Into, finished within 2 goals of Paris. If you went 20 minutes without conceding against Paris, like anything that happened, then you were entitled to a part of that trophy.
A few Arsenal fans, as I say, PSG only lost on XG 6 times this season, and 3 of them were against Arsenal. Who gives a fuck? You fucking lost to them twice in the semi-final. Aston Villa fans, well, I've seen someone Aston Villa fan talking about Marcus Rashford had this fucking PSG side shitting himself as if that was some sort of victory. At the end of the day, they knocked both of them teams out. I even seen Newcastle fans similar, talking about how we dominated them last season. I mean, it was a different team last season for a start. But yeah, just some of the reactions on Twitter to, I mean, Arsenal fans like to make everything about them. It's absolutely batty the way they go on at times, like. But yeah, apparently that result last night cemented Arteta and Arsenal as the best team in Europe, I assume. So
you do have to remember, Barry, that's not real. I do keep reminding you because I'm quite good. I've done well this year. One of the things I've done well this season is to realise that football Twitter isn't real person Twitter. It's absolutely fucking insane. And it really is hard because I look at it to try and just gauge what's going on or see what's going on. It's to try and not bite back, to try and not nibble away. And I think you can normally tell when I've either had a drink or Newcastle have won, because they're the 2 occasions when I will have a little nibble. But the rest of the time, I'm quite prudent about what I do. Joe Dollar's joined us. Andy Williams joined us. Pete's picks. Pete's got one for tomorrow in the 6:15 Blue Orbit at 9 to 4. Pete, in the chat, Pete, tell us what you think about that Irish. What was it? Charles Burns' son, jumping off that horse at Wexford the other day, because I've watched that a million times. There's a great angle today if you haven't seen it, from behind of him launching himself off that horse. I think you very much stole the Champions League picks wise though, Baz. You did. Bear in mind, you were rat-arsed. I don't know if you were rat-arsed when you made the picks. You were rat-arsed when you gave them out. But I think you came out all right.
Yeah, I handicapped it sober, to be fair, the night before. Yeah, I mean, I've done well with the main picks and then hit the post on a couple as well, really. I took PSG. I fancied PSG in normal time to win it. And the goals, so I tipped up the 2.5 and 3.5. 3.5 was at 5-2. So that was nice. Goal scorer did go for Dembele, who didn't hit, and Mendes. Mendes had that one right near the end, didn't he? Hakimi plays it across the box, and Mendes is just there with a goal in front of him, and he misses it. So that was disappointing for a 9-1 shot. And then the bet builder, 3 out of 4 hit. We had the Doué shots on target, Kvaratskhelia shots. They both landed in the first half. 2 Ram shots on target hits. And the only one that didn't was Calhanoglu, did nothing really. And his form in the earlier rounds had been good for getting a couple of shots. He looked good. Never got involved and then got subbed on 70 minutes to kill that one. Otherwise, would have been getting very close to that 30-1 shot. But yeah, good night. As I say, the main picks and following the goals was a nice way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I can claim one sort of nearly pick. But yeah, I took Inter Milan, which was a spectacular defeat. Inter Milan in 90, which you can just only laugh at. The player props with Dembele shots. Dembele got one off early on, straight in the keeper's chest from 20 yards, which also sets you up. And then Dumfries immediately fouled someone. Then Dumfries elbowed someone in the head, wasn't giving us a foul, but they brought it back to give the bloke head treatment, but somehow he didn't get caught. And that was really all my excitement. Apart from the early goal, I said, and this was if you listen back to the show, both teams had good records in the first 15 minutes. Wanted to find a play in the first 15 minutes, couldn't. Bet365 were doing the first 10 minutes. So I did say the first goal would be in the 11th minute, which is exactly what happened. So that was a fairly decent prediction. So like first half goals, which ended up with 2. I felt a bit sorry for what was his name, the left back who had a shocker, DeMarco, because we commented on him in the last round against Lamine Yamal, because I felt very rarely I end up feeling sorry for a footballer. But against Yamal, he just couldn't do it. There was nothing he could do because the kid was just a lot better than him. And he just got mugged off time and time again. And then the Champions League final starts. He just, a horrible piece of defending to play them onside, then turns his back and gets a little bit unlucky with the deflection. And then he just wanted to hide after that. They made him take a free kick, and he didn't want to take it because he didn't have the nerve to kick it in the box, and he didn't. He shanked it all the way out for a goal kick. I felt bad for him. Doué and Vitinha are very, very good footballers. We obviously talking about Yamal. He gets all the smoke for a 17-year-old kid. But Desiree Doué is quality. And Bob, Bob's a little busy central midfielder. And watching Vitinha last night, I just couldn't. I had a couple of lagers as well. And I just had all the balls. So every person on the pitch for PSG who's got the ball, the nearest person to him is Vitinha. He's 4 yards away from everyone. It's like there's 7 or 8 of him on the pitch. He'll get the ball on the left wing, play a 1-2. It'll go to Hakimi at right back, and the nearest person to him is Vitinha, and he'll play a 1-2 with Dembele, and then it's back in the middle. He's absolutely everywhere. He never plays a pass that's over 3 yards. He must have touched the ball 200 times last night. He's absolutely top class. That's fast becoming one of the most important positions on a football team. We've seen N'Golo Kante. It's single-handedly win Leicester a league title from that position. And you wouldn't think so. You'd think, who's your centre-forward, whatever. Who's your number 10? To sit in there and do what Vitinha does is top quality. I think that's my Champions League analysis done 4, Baz. I mean, the other thing to mention, I suppose, is PSG. Where they came from? Because they had a shocking start in this competition, particularly. They were nearly toast. Like the jeopardy in the last couple of game days, match days 7 and 8. The only jeopardy was PSG and Man City. We said it was all a bit boring, wasn't it? They were the two that at times looked like they were going to miss out, and PSG scraped in really in a 23rd or 24th, whatever it was, and then came from the clouds and sort of tore asunder the rest of them, including the 3 Premier League challengers. But
yeah, very impressive. As I say, they just grew and grew, and I think the best side certainly over the knockout stages. For me, they were the best side throughout that period of it. Like,
don't stop talking when I'm drinking me tea, Baz. Come on.
Stop drinking tea.
Right, okay. I'm going to read some stuff out now. The SGP guys will be ripping packs live on air next Monday. Be breaking a case of Panini Prisms with DAPS, and you can get 10% off your favourite team with the promo code SGPN. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/break to get in on the action. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums. Earn cashback rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN. Deposit $25. Edge Boost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And Underdog Pick'em is going along for the NBA playoffs with their extender bonus. Hop in game 1. The longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. Sign up at Underdog Fantasy with our promo code PLGP for a special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code PLGP. I forgot what advert I was reading out there, Barry, halfway through that. I don't know if you noticed. £1 million show. First thing I noticed, I watched it back today. Sometimes I listen to it because I couldn't find me jotter that had the notes in, so I had to listen to it back. I actually watched it on the telly, and the first thing to notice was you had a full beard, Barry, full beard, and a massive glass of white wine. I enjoyed both of those things. I wore this shirt, so I put this shirt on again just to complete the circle. But I did have my psychedelic bucket hat on, which Callum didn't like at the time. So I've changed my hat just for Callum. I've gone with the backwards propeller cap. Look at the come on, man. Does that not entertain you? Come on. You look at Barry's little face. I'll bash that around all night, but so we took £1 million, we spread it around, and we do have a good record at this, Baz. Now, is this our 3rd full season? Something like that. 2nd, who knows? Anyway, I think we've won every time. You won in the Euros as well. We won in the World Cup. So we have got a good record at these £1 million things. I gave out 9 picks. Yeah, you gave out 8. And then we'll add them up at the end, Barry. And as I said, we'll see who is definitively the best handicapper on this show. But one of the nice things about this, Baz, is a lot of them, it'll get us around a lot of the teams, and it'll get us around a lot of the markets, a lot of the winners and losers. So we'll touch on most things as we go. I've got more picks than you, so I'll go first, which is how we did it first time round. My first play, Baz, was one of my favourite winners of the entire year. And we have already touted this because this hit on like the middle of February. It was absolutely insane. My first play was a £350,000 bet at 6-5 on Nottingham Forest to get over 38 points. Fucking hell, come on, Baz. I mean, they finished on
already, 60. Listen.
Watch.
You've already celebrated this one, so don't go into a 5-minute rant about this one. We've already done it.
I haven't even finished my first sentence.
You've done it 6 months ago, man.
Baz, if you're going to get agitated every time I make a winning pick, it's going to be a long half an hour for you because there's fucking loads coming up. So I would just calm down if I was you. Over 38 points. They got 65, Barry, which is 27 more than 38. My first 2 picks here are absolutely astonishingly good. That was 350 grand to win 770. So a rock solid start, Baz. And Forest were just excellent. Feels like an anticlimax that they finished 7th, which sounds mad. But bear in mind, the bookies line was 38 points. For them to finish 7th did feel like a letdown last day of the season, because in match day 38, they had a home game to potentially get Champions League football. And at one point, they were kind of clearing 3rd, even going back sort of March, early April. They weren't far away. So hats off to Forest. Whether or not they can do it again, I've no idea. But yeah, unbelievably fantastic pick from me. Well done. Baz, your first pick was a league winner, wasn't it?
Yeah, so this is where it went wrong for me, really, because this was supposed to be the cornerstone bet that gets you the big amount in the bank, and then everything else around it can sort of get you above the million. But unfortunately, I went with City at 6-4 to win the league for a massive 300,000. They didn't win the league, and they didn't win the league by quite a distance, and it was a loser from a long way off as well, which was disappointing. But yeah, that was meant to be the one that would get me up there, and then I could fire some shots at some bigger prices further down and try and hit something. But yeah, disappointing from City. Disappointing all around to lose 300,000 with my biggest bet of the show.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a weird one looking back at sort of how we viewed it at the time. Because obviously at the time you make your case for why you think Man City, and it's a perfectly reasonable case. And at the time, no one was really considering Liverpool.
Nope.
It was Man City. Also, what did Liverpool? What, 5 or 6 to 1?
Yeah.
And in the end, they won it in an absolute canter. It feels like the league hasn't been competitive since January, February, when there was a
I
real.
did say, I don't know if it was the £1 Million show or the Premier League review show we done. I did say, I mean, as much as I fancied City, I said at the time I thought Liverpool were much better value than Arsenal, because you were getting Arsenal at 5-2 and Liverpool at 6-1. And I remember saying a few times I thought Liverpool was definitely the better value. If you wanted to oppose City, I'd much rather have been on the 6-1. Unfortunately, I didn't take it. I just took City.
So yeah, I mean, Liverpool absolutely cruised in there uncompetitively. I don't know what really happened to Man City. They just weren't very good. Like they really hit a lull. They spent a lot of money in January. They're going to spend a lot of money again. They finished a little bit better, but not great. So yeah, we'll see what works out there. My second,
I saw that clip doing the rounds today of Jurgen Klopp last year when he said, teams like Newcastle and Man City don't have a ceiling. Liverpool do have a ceiling. We can't compete with them. And here they are throwing 130 million at Florian Wirtz. But there you go.
Well, actually, that was in my notes to talk about before we started doing this, was the Cunha, Frimpong and word signings. We'll talk about that another day. There's plenty more days to talk about that. My second pick, Bars, was equally as magnificent as my first pick, and it was £200,000 on Manchester United under 64 points. So they finished on 42, Bars. I mean, it's not a bad 22-point cushion there to go on top of the 27-point cushion that Nottingham Forest got in. It's not like I'm stumbling over the finish line here, Baz. I've had a cigar on since mid-fucking October with these picks. I think the handicap was they were shite. They'll remain shite, and hopefully will always be shite forevermore. 200 grand won me £366,666 and 66 pence, Baz. Yeah, it was just a 60. They picked up 60 points the season before. I've no idea where 4 points of improvement was coming from, because they just got worse and worse and worse. That was under Ten Hag, by the way. A lot of the handicap was Ten Hag. It did change, which could have been a crossroads. Turned out they got even worse. Yeah, and it was never in doubt. So yeah, two absolutely bloodless picks there, Baz. Your second one though got you on the board, Baz.
Yeah, so the next biggest one for me was 200,000 on Villa to be the highest placed team outside of the Big Seven. I remember making a bit of a chuckle at the fact that they were now calling it a Big Seven and including Newcastle in there. Look, doomed for a while for quite a lot of the season. It looked like Forest would scupper that bet. So literally hanging on till the very last day. So nice to get that one in. 5-4, Villa were to finish the best of the rest outside the big seven. Imagine still including Spurs and Man United in that. Anyway, 5-4, 200,000 returned 450,000 for me.
That was a nice bet, Baz. On the show, it was roundly pointed out by everyone. That was the arse sniffer of the entire £1 million show. It did come down to the last game of the season. Like Forest very nearly got you, but Villa got there. There was one other pick we both liked actually that I forgot to mention at the top. We never made it. In hindsight now, Baz, holy shit! It was Southampton to get relegated at 5-4. Fucking hell! And the only reason we didn't pick it was, if you remember, there was a lot of points deductions, clouds hanging around. Leicester was supposed to be getting 4. Everton was supposed to be getting loads. Man City were potentially getting 200 points deducted, whatever. And none of it ever happened. And 5-4 for a team who accumulated, what did they get? 11 points? Whatever it was mad. But we didn't take that.
I mean, the thing is, for me, when I look back, because we actually done 2 preview shows. We've done a Premier League preview show and we've done the £1 million show. And there was quite a few bets that made it into my Premier League preview that didn't then make it into my £1 million bets. So Southampton was one of them. I looked at the notes. I had 11-8 Southampton to get relegated. I also tipped up Leicester to get relegated. So I'd said take Leicester, Southampton double. But yeah, unfortunately, there was quite a few there in that preview show, which I done okay from. I mean, that was where I tipped up Ten Hag to be the first manager gone at 40-1, which was obviously a lovely one.
Man United to finish bottom half made it in there as well, I think.
Yeah, so
for both
had
of us.
some good stuff in there. Unfortunately for me, they didn't all make it into my £1 million picks.
Well, my third pick, Barry, fortunately, get your calculator out, was the 3 promoted teams to be relegated. We talked about this price last week on the show because it was 6-1, Baz. Holy shit! I had 100 grand at 6-1, returning me £700,000. So that was 3 for 3. I mean, again, non-competitive like Southampton, Leicester, and Ipswich were maybe the ones we thought might try a bit harder. And at various points early on, looked kind of competitive, and then just got worse and worse and worse. And I don't know what happened to any of them. The decision to sack Steve Cooper from Leicester looked stupid because they were out of the bottom 3 at the time. They were sitting on something like 16 points and then ended up on 20 odd. It was a bollocks decision. And to a point, Van Nistelrooy was madness. The difference in prices going forward this season, it's now 2-1. 2-1 for Sunderland, Burnley and Leeds to get relegated next year, because it's 2 years running now that's happened. So 6-1 was too good to be true. We did well to get on it at the time. So yeah, another 700k in the bank for me. Baz, next for you. Oh, this was an absolute shocker, one of yours, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I mean, it was a match bet between Foden and Palmer in terms of goals, and it was dead really early. I think I called it on one of our early shows, probably about 12 weeks into the season. I said I was putting the final nails in that one. But actually, a little bit frustrating because Foden never got going. And if he had got going, Palmer fizzled out towards the end of the season, didn't he? Didn't pick up much at all. But ended up finishing 15 goals to Palmer, 7 goals to Foden. So a long way off. That was Foden, 150,000 on Foden to outscore Palmer. 2-1, the pick was. Never got close, was dead. Nice and early, that one.
But he did get a lovely big koi carp for his birthday, Baz. So it's not been an entirely wasted season for Philly. Our job at SGPN is to help you find the best picks. And now we've got a new tool that takes things to a whole new level. You've heard us talk about Rhythm before, and they just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think a strikeout pop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean, data-backed bets. Get your 7-day free trial, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. The Circa Ultimate Fantasy Football giveaway giving you and your entire league, 12 people, the chance to draft in Vegas in a cabana at Stadium Swim, where you'll get a 2-night stay, limit transportation, legacy club party, food and beverage credit at Stadium Swim and in the sportsbook. May the 5th to June the 30th is the competition date. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag, your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs. Easy deposit, lightning fast payouts using crypto, tons of locations accepted. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. T's and C's apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code PLGP. I think I said SGPN earlier on, but we've updated that. Next up, I've got a couple of losers to come, Baz. You'll be pleased to hear.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, I know, it's hard to believe, but it's true. I had a team top scorer treble, which I hit 2 out of 3. So I feel like the system behind the bet was all right. I just picked the wrong bloke in one of them. It was Ollie Watkins, who top scored for Villa. It was Alexander Isak. And I wanted to get Rodrigo Muniz in for Fulham. I just thought he didn't have any competition because Raul Jimenez to me was on the slide. And then it turns out Jimenez won the job at number 9 and then kept it by having a good season. So the angle wasn't terrible, but I just didn't get it over the 100,000 at 23 to 10, but a bit of a letdown for me. That one. You had a top score as well next up, didn't you? Oh, you had a couple, Baz. In fact, take us through your next 2, because the second one is a pick that I made as well.
Yeah, so I mean, at this point, I'm throwing darts. I'm expecting to have at least a couple of winners. I'm expecting City to have won the league. I'm expecting Villa to have finished in the top 7 comfortably and to be free rolling from here. It wasn't how it worked out, but the rest of my picks are all big prices. So you had that sort of 100 grand there. Makes me think a little. You had 100 grand on a 2-to-1 shot treble. I took 100 grand on an 11-to-1 here. But it was a loser. It was the team top scorer, like you. I went for Brighton and I went for Yankuba Minteh. And the theory was fine, even if the pick wasn't, because he was 11-to-1. And the pick was due to the fact that I said Brighton didn't have that sort of talisman striker who would go out and get the 20-odd goals a season, that they would spread it amongst them. And that proved to be the case. They had 3 players tied on 10 goals. It would have been Mitoma, Pedro, and Welbeck got 10. Minter was 4 behind him on 6, so not a million miles away. Didn't get quite as much game time for parts of the season as I thought he might. But yeah, I mean, I picked at 11-to-1. I've had worse 11-to-1 shots, that's for sure. And as I say, the theory behind it was Brighton spreading the goals around, which came to fruition. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get up there. But yeah, 100 grand down the drain at 11-to-1 on Minter.
Oh, I looked at it, Baz, just because I agree with you that all the jigsaw pieces were fine. No one ran away with it. Pedro didn't finish with 23 goals. You mentioned the fact it was joint top scorers. In my head, I thought you'd taken Danny Welbeck, actually. I thought you had a winner until you went for Minteh, because it was a three-way tie at the top and there was a gang of players in behind. So I didn't think you were a million miles away. The next play, though, Baz, was a winner. And I had smaller stakes. So you lead us off with this next one.
Yeah, so the next one was Alexander Isak, top scorer. But we took this each way. And the expectation was that your each way money looked good. We both said we thought the each way money 16-to-1 Isak was for top scorer, which meant you were getting 4-to-1 for him to finish in the top 5, I think it was. And the sort of fly in the ointment we thought would be Haaland. And if you'd told me he would finish ahead of Haaland, I'd have assumed he was going to win. Obviously, that wasn't the case because Salah went off and got 28 goals or something like that, 29. So he finished 6 behind Salah, but comfortably in second place. I had 50,000 each way at 16-to-1. So the place money would have returned 250,000. He never really looked like not getting a place. And he fizzled out a bit towards the end of the season, really. Could have made a bit more of an effort to push it closer had he have finished a bit stronger. Or, I mean, we think he was probably carrying an injury for that last month or so. And at the same time, Salah also had a little bit of a quiet spell towards the end of the season. But yeah, we looked safe on the place bet for Isak a long way through the season.
Yeah, I made the same pick, Baz. But I only had 25,000 each way at 16-1, returned me 125k. What I would say on this market was there was definitely some value to be had. First off, Isak at 16-1. I mean, we said on the £1 million show, 6-4 plays looked outstanding value. But then 4 places here, you've got a dead heat between Mbeumo, Chris Wood. Just them two, actually. Mbeumo and Chris Wood both finished on 20 goals. But Wissa's just in behind on 19. So there is value to be had. They would have been big prices like Wood and Mbeumo. So it'll be a market I'll definitely be having a look at next year. My next player, Baz, was a fucking disaster. Team top scorer, Diogo Jota for Liverpool, finished on 6. While Mo Salah knocked in 29. So I blew that one big time. Yeah, next for you, Baz.
Next up for me, I threw a couple of £50,000 darts on most assists pick. I went with Anthony Gordon for Newcastle, and Odegaard at Arsenal. Gordon only got 5, Odegaard only got 8, and Salah absolutely walked away with this one. Ironically, kicking myself a little bit because the £1 million show 1 year earlier, I tipped Salah at 12-1.
Oh, you did, yes.
Didn't hit. So yeah, I was 1 year behind on the Salah train, but yeah, 12-1 a year earlier. He's absolutely walked away with it this time round. But yeah, Gordon and Odegaard never really threatened that one at all. So that was another 100,000 gone.
Yeah, I put Odegaard in the pick as well. We both talked about it a lot. I took him for PFA Player of the Year, which obviously hasn't been awarded yet, but he's not going to win it. At 14-1, just because I wanted to get some Arsenal related stuff in there. Steve Bailey has just joined us in the chat, saying nice things. Steve is a listener since January, but this is the first time he's made it into a live, and he enjoys the show. So yeah, welcome along, Steve. If you can get in the YouTube show on a weekly basis, there's loads of idiots in here, Steve. You'll enjoy it. It's good crack. Next loser for me was Golden Glove. I took Nick Pope, thinking that Newcastle might get back to their defensive form. He was injured for a lot of the season, which I don't really think didn't help, but it didn't make any difference because he wasn't going to get anywhere near. David Raya, I think 2 years running now, Raya's won that. It was a dead heat with Matt Sells. I don't think anyone, even if you thought Forest might get over 38 points, I don't think it had taken Matt Sells to dead heat. And Jordan Pickford came second or third, but 12, only one behind as well. So again, another market that just goes to show you don't really need to be on a top team. We talked about De Gea had won it for Manchester United without being great before that. The other thing, just going back to the assists, Baz, each way, this was a great each way market because some of the names on it you would never, ever have picked. Obviously, Mo Salah won it with 18 assists. Do you know who came second, Baz?
No, I would probably Jacob Murphy.
It's the right answer, yeah. Fuck me, he'd have been a price, wouldn't he? He'd have been three figures, like. But in behind him, you've then got a dead heat between Saka, fair enough, and then Mikel Damsgaard of Brentford, 500-1. Fucking Anthony Robinson of Fulham, dead heat. Like, and one behind them was Anthony Elanga of Forest. Before you get a couple of names who you thought might be on there, Heung-min Son and Bruno Fernandes. So wide open there. My last play, Baz, before we give us your last two. This was live going into match day 37, so it sounds like it's a bit of a bum pick, but it was Newcastle for a top 2 finish. And had we scored one of those million chances we created in the first 15 minutes against Arsenal, where we could very well have finished second, but we didn't. I mean, again, 12-1 wasn't a terrible pick because it was still live at 4:30 on the penultimate weekend of the season. So, yeah, another loser for me. And then you finished off with 2 Mad Man City bets, didn't you, Baz?
I did, yeah. These were always long shots, and unfortunately, I mean, I might have landed one of these if the Premier League had just pulled a finger out of their arse. City to finish bottom of the league, 33-1. I was hoping for a big 60-point deduction or something, but apparently
Has
that's
actually happened with that? Have we
nothing.
just not bothered anymore? Has it
Just
gone away?
I just wonder if they're thinking everyone will just forget about it eventually. Because we were told by the press ages ago that it was done and dusted. The actual hearing's done. All the evidence is done. And there was big sort of rumours a decision would come out in March. And then it was April. And then now nobody's talking about it again. We just forget about it, apparently. So, yeah, bottom of the league, Man City, I was a little bit let down. I'll be gutted, won't I, if July comes round and they get a 60-point deduction for next season. I'll be a little bit sick, but nobody's expecting that, I don't think, the way this is going. And the other one was a complete contrast to that, was City to go unbeaten at 25-1. That didn't last long at all. Absolutely terrible bet. So no excuses there.
So that was it, Barry. All of our picks, some winners in there. Do you want the final totals there, Barry? I haven't added them up yet. I can't say, Barry, who once and for all is the undisputed best tipster on this show. So I'll just add them up now in my head. You finished on, Barry, £700,000, which is a loss of 300 grand. Mine, it's going to take a bit longer to add mine up. Yep, I'm on, Barry, £1,961,766. So 39 grand off 2 mil, double bubble. Absolutely over the moon with that. 4 winners from me 9 picks. The first 2 were insane. 6-1 on the promo teams, and a little bit of each way on Isaac. So, looks pretty definitive there, Barry.
I mean, I'm surprised. I was expecting your total to be bigger.
Why?
It feels like you've left a lot out there. You've basically cashed an even money winner or a 10-11 winner with £1 million there, which is nice. But just the fact that Forest cleared it by 25 points and Man United cleared it by 22 points.
Barry.
It feels like you've left a lot out there, especially because you've then got a 6-1 as well, which was nice. I take my hat off.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely great picks. But when you think how early you won that Forest game, you just think there was potential there somewhere else or some other way of making an absolute fortune out of those 2 picks.
Yeah, you're right. I've got paid 6-5 on a 40-1 shot or something twice, which is quite impressive. Anyway, Baz, so that's the final score. So we've got some. I know we've had some trophies ready. So that says £1 million show 24-25 winner and undisputed champion. So that I was going to post these down if you won, Baz, but that's for me. We've got the Premier League Gambling Podcast 24-25 Employee of the Year. That one there for me as well. And obviously just a little something there to shaking. Little bottle of champagne there, Barry. Which I'll be keeping. So quite happy with that, Baz. Are you looking forward to potentially competing for these awards next year?
Oh, I'll give it my best. Well done. You must be very proud of yourself.
Over the moon, I'm going to spin my propeller around fucking no end. Go on, man. Well done, mate. Are we going to do £1 million show for the Club World Cup, Barry? Or is that just insane?
It's a little bit insane, but what else are we going to do all summer?
Well, we're going to do the Club World Cup. Do you know it kicks off 2 weeks tonight? So we've only got really one more show this week that we have to find something to talk about. Because then we can do an anti-post show next week, and then we can do an actual game pick show on Thursday. So, that's come across quite nicely. Los Angeles FC have claimed the last place in the Club World Cup just tonight, just a couple of hours ago.
The whole thing's getting on my nerves already, and it hasn't even started.
Why?
You've got the champions of England and the champions of Spain not playing in the World Club Cup. You've got the team who, and fair enough, you might say, well, they've only just won it, so it was too late. You've got the team who won the German league last year aren't in the Club
Yeah.
World Cup, but the team who can't ever win the Bundesliga, Dortmund, are in it. How are Dortmund in ahead of Leverkusen? What's that all
I
about?
don't know. It's not up to me.
The whole thing's a shambles in terms of how they play. I mean, we've got Chelsea, for God's sake, because they won the Champions League once, like many years ago. I know it wasn't that many years ago, but shambles.
Tell you what, I wouldn't fancy it. It's a long old tournament. It used to be a dog shit little tournament, didn't it? You'd like play someone from Egypt on the Friday, and then the final would be on the Sunday against Real Madrid. Now it's a full-on 32 teamer, or maybe 24. Anyway, it's a full-on big thing. It's got to affect them coming back early in the season, Baz. I'll be looking to fade some of these teams coming back in August.
You would think so. I mean, most of them players probably want nothing to do with it, but they'll all be getting massive bonuses to playing it, because it's just another way of redistributing loads of money to the select few clubs that FIFA wants to give loads of money to. Because Man City and Chelsea have been able to negotiate their own fees. They're basically getting 50 million just to turn up. But that's not 50 million that every team gets for turning up. Because, Yokohama Wanderers or whatever don't get 50 million. They'll just get a couple of million for turning up. Los Angeles FC will get 10 million to turn up. But Man City will walk there and get handed 50 million. And if they win it, Chelsea or Man City, £90 million. Just an absolute scam to just keep the rich getting richer. I don't fucking agree with it. Fuck them.
It is a 32 team, I like. I've just had a little look. It's absolute mayhem. So yeah, we'll get stuck into that. We'll find something to talk about. If not, I mean, we could do a further in-depth analysis on some of my winning picks from this evening, Baz. If you want, as like a little spin-off episode, something like that. Do you have anything you want to tell the people before we let them go, Baz?
No.
No. Okay,
I've had
good.
enough.
Well,
I'm
thank
getting
you
out
very
of
much.
here. I'm sick of listening to you fucking bleating on about your
What you're talking about. I'm just trying to. I'm quite conscious that the trophies might be getting in the way of the microphone and impairing on my sound quality. So I'll just try and keep these out there. I'm trying to hold them out the way, Baz. So I don't want to.
That's
Don't
all right,
want them to
Malcolm.
annoy anyone.
You still sound like a knobhead.
Oh, it's bollocks that. I can spin me propeller around with me champagne. Thanks everyone for joining us. That was what I enjoyed this show quite a lot. We'll be back with possibly something to talk about on later this week. Who knows? Thanks, appreciate it. Well done, me. And we will see you all. Oh, hang on, Baz. Who's pressing the buttons?
I'll do it.
You. Right. We'll see you all down the road. Cheers.